So, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the third episode of one of our series, A Book and a Coffee. Now, this entire endeavor is to do some book summaries of those brilliant books that are available over the internet, over the counters, and to bring some value through those summaries, bring some values into your lives, into your mindsets, into how you evolve as a person. These books are carrying enough treasures, these books are carrying enough values that we can make the most out of. And I truly believe that a book is somebody's best friend. So I hope you're ready. Today's book is a very interesting book. I'm going to reveal the name very soon. So I hope you are ready with your steaming cups of coffee because I have my cup of coffee ready, and I'm sure that all of you are glued to the computer screens because I am ready to share the knowledge that I found in this book. I'm going to share my screen pretty quick with all of you, and we will be starting the show in just a while. I'm just sharing my screen with all of you guys. Just bear with me for a moment. All right, now I'm sure you're able to see my screen. We will go right ahead into the book. So, the book that we are covering today, before I get into that, a lot of people ask me, why am I doing this? I'm sure you see a lot of other people doing this. There are a lot of offline videos that you find on YouTube doing summaries. However, what I believe is those summaries are just monologues. They are very short in terms of time, and a lot of people who are making such YouTube videos. I'm not saying that they do not have any value; they have tremendous value. However, the concepts that are needed to be unfold, the concepts that are needed to be discussed in details are not being done. They are just being discussed over the surface. What I do in this particular sessions is I go deep into each of these topics that I dig out from the book for you, and I discuss them in details so that it comes out beautifully, the message comes out beautifully, and you understand the book. You kind of have a prologue to the book, and if you find the book interesting, you go back, you can buy that book. You might also find a link on this video in the description, and you can buy that book. So my main objective is to ensure that you get the idea, and those that idea imbibes into you because we are discussing the topics in detail, and we're trying to understand each and every aspect behind that topic covered in the book. So that is the reason why I'm doing this. As I always say, that books have immense power. It has immense treasures, and it opens our personal abilities. It opens the door to bigger personal accomplishments. Books are purest form of knowledge and learning. You refer any book. I'm sure if you've read a book ever in your life, you will find that the book talks to you. It talks back to you. Because when you're reading, you're also talking to yourself continuously. And when you're doing so, you are also doing a lot of introspection. And when that introspection happens, it actually helps you unfold your own hidden abilities, your own hidden capabilities. The one reason that I'm also doing this is to bring the summaries to the comfort of your house, because they are not enough. There is not enough time uh, at the disposal of the people to read the complete book. And when you do not find the time to read the complete book, these such summaries help you out to understand the idea and the value behind the subject. It's also my mission to help people increase their personal capabilities, their personal capacities, their personal abilities. And I truly believe that when there is somebody in your life who has some vested interest in your upbringing, uh, in your not in your upbringing, that your upbringing is being taken care of by your parents, in your personal development, in your personal growth, then that is where the real magic happens. Every great leader in this world, every great personality in this world has a mentor, has a guide, has a counsel. And I would see myself helping people to increase their personal capacities, working there as their personal counsel, so that they could accomplish what they would not if they do not have something like this in their life. So that's my personal mission to help people across the world. The book under the limelight today, probably the most successful, the biggest self help book, the biggest personal growth book that is available in the market today. And this book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Unarguably the best book in the market in terms of self help. There has never been a bigger, better book than this one. So, what is the basis of this book? The basis of this book was that Napoleon Hill interviewed 500 successful men of his time. At that point of time, the people were John D. Rockefeller, some Carnegie. Both of these people were steel giants. Alexander Graham Bell, an inventor and innovator. Henry Ford, the founder of the Ford Corporation. And Thomas Edison, who had more than 2,000 patents to his name, a businessman and an inventor. But he interviewed over 20 years to understand the reason behind their success. He went through understanding what made them so successful, and this is what he came up with. So what we will be covering is this one central encapsulating idea of the book. This is what we will be covering. And the idea that he came up with is that we need to harness the power of your subconscious mind. So what is the subconscious mind? Let's understand this first. This is very important to understand what is the subconscious mind. Our brain is so made made up that it helps us think in in an active state of mind. Now, that active state of mind is when we are listening to something, or when we are speaking, when we are doing a voluntary job, when we are picking up things, when we are probably talking to somebody. These are some voluntary work that the brain does. And these are some conscious works that the brain does: driving a car, cooking. So all of these things are known as the conscious efforts of the brain. And this is done by something known as the conscious part of the brain, so the conscious mind, right? So we are conscious about what we are doing. Uh, so in that context, the conscious mind is a very small part of your brain. The bigger part of your brain is your subconscious mind. Things that happen automatically in our life, within our body, within outside our body, this is something controlled by our subconscious mind. The heartbeat is controlled by our subconscious mind. The flow of blood within us is controlled by the subconscious mind. Our present and our future is also controlled by our subconscious mind. And subconscious mind has the capacity to engineer your future, and that is done of what we feed to our subconscious mind. And we'll talk about that in great detail going further into the slides. So we need to really harness the power of your subconscious mind. In comparison, if we say what is the size of your conscious and your subconscious mind, if your conscious mind is as big as an onion, sorry, when if your conscious mind is as big as an onion, your subconscious mind is as big as the Milky Way galaxy. So that is the comparison. Okay. However, there are three characteristics of subconscious mind that we need to understand. The first character of the subconscious mind is that the conscious mind is the controller of the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind might be the most powerful thing that we possess. However, the conscious mind still controls the subconscious mind. It's like the conscious subconscious mind is the garden. However, the conscious mind is the gardener of the subconscious mind. We feed voluntarily, consciously, we feed these feelings, these uh, so-called our day-to-day positive feelings or even negative feelings to the subconscious mind. So, in short, that the conscious mind is controlled. Subconscious mind is controlled by the conscious mind, and it is up to our conscious mind. It is up to our own ability to dictate what are we feeding to our subconscious mind. So, in short, we need to ensure that we are feeding positive emotions, positive feelings, uh, positive self-talk to our subconscious mind on a daily basis, because that is what the subconscious mind will that get work into. This is what we need to understand over here. See, if we try and put negative into our brain, the subconscious mind will take it as it is, and that is what the second part is about. Subconscious mind is always working. It is always working. Whether we go to sleep, whether we are working, whether we are sleeping, whether we are cooking, whether we are driving, anything that we are doing, the subconscious mind is always at work. Even if when we go to sleep, our conscious mind is at rest. Our prefrontal cortex is what the technical term is. However, the subconscious mind will always be at work, and whatever we have fed to our conscious mind, it will work in an automatic way to bring this feed into reality. And whatever it, so if we feed negative, we will get negative. If we feed positive to our subconscious mind, it will give it would work towards making our future into a positive future. And the subconscious mind is objective. It really doesn't matter what you have said to it. It would never differentiate between whether something is positive or something is negative. Whatever you feed, it would get down to work and make that feed into your reality, right? uh, Subconscious mind will not discriminate between the positive and the negative side, and that is why it is so very imperative to keep feeding consciously. Just keep feeding our conscious subconscious mind with all the positives. And if we do not feed our conscious mind subconscious mind with positivity, by default whatever is fed because of our situations, because of our various uh, surroundings, by default whatever it is fed to the subconscious mind, it is always most of the time negative. Let's take up an example of the garden. When the garden is being taken care of, right, you always do some positive things in the garden. You are planting tomatoes, planting all the required plants, and then you're probably then trimming off the leaves and the branches that you do not need. You're trimming them out of your shrubs. However, when a garden is not tended to, when you do not tend to a garden, the unrequired plants, the weeds will all will grow automatically. And that is exactly what happens to our subconscious mind. If you do not tend to our subconscious mind and consciously give them a positive input, the negative input will come to it automatically and you cannot stop it. And once that subconscious mind is fed with negative, it will always produce negative. uh, let's take it also as a conveyor belt on a plant. What comes as an output depends upon the input. Whatever raw material that you put on a conveyor belt and the process that happens in between, the output, the end product will depend largely on what kind of raw material have we put. So if we put a raw material which is not in line with our future, the kind of future that we want, and nobody wants a bad future, nobody wants a negative future, everybody wants a positive future. However, the the problem is that a lot of people are not giving a positive input to their subconscious mind, and that is so very imperative. Remember the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt would always work on giving you a desired output depending on the kind of input that you use, right? The process will remain the same. The process will always remain the same. The subconscious mind will work with the same process. However, the output would be totally depend upon the kind of input. Now, how do you program your subconscious mind? I've been saying that, let's feed it in a positive way. Let's feed that. So how do you program your subconscious mind? How do you feed your subconscious mind with positivity? There are there are five learnings, and those five learning are, stay with me for a moment. Those five learnings are: you need to have a definite purpose. You need to have a definite purpose. Okay. I can go on and on speaking about this definite purpose. Anything that you do in life, anything that you do in life needs to have a definite purpose. And how do you ensure that you will have a definite purpose in your life? Is that you stick to what you want. You always you always focus on what you are looking for. And why do we need to have a focus? Why need to have a focused mind? Why do we have to have a definite purpose? Why? The reason is that the subconscious mind always works on something which is not ambiguous. It needs the clarity. It would need the clarity of thought. It would need the clarity of what you want to achieve, right? If you say that I would want to become rich, right, the subconscious mind would feel ambiguous. It does not have the right information. So if, on the contrary, if you say I would like to have, by the end of 2020, say $100,000 in my bank account, that is a definite purpose. And your purpose should not be monetary. Your purpose could be anything. Your purpose could be uh, probably doing a certificate to enhance your skills, or it could be working for the poor and the needy. That could be your purpose. But how do you want to work? So how do we want to work for the process? How do you want to work for the excuse me, how do you want to work for the poor and the needy? You need to tell them very straightforward as to your subconscious mind should know the exact details about how you need to work for the poor and the needy. And it could be anything. Then it has to have the clarity. All right. Now let's move on to the second, the power of self-talk. You need to feed your subconscious mind with the positive self affirmations. Right? You have a purpose. then you need to tell your brain and your subconscious mind over and over again what you really want. And the more you feed, the more positive that you feed, the it would work in a continuous fashion, and it would get so programmed, it would just then think about your purpose, it would just keep thinking about your purpose, it would just keep thinking about your purpose. And you would not even know that your subconscious mind is now working automatically, and everything around you is so positive, everything around you is so charged up, that these things, these this future would then come into your reality automatically, and you would not even come to know when it started to happen. So that's the power of the self talk. And you speak what you want as if you already have. You speak what you want as if you already have, and that's the power of self talk. uh, you would never say that I want something. You talk about it as if you already have. So when I am doing my self affirmations, I say to God, thank you God for giving me $100,000. See the kind of emotion that is have that you have behind it, and that is the third part, the power of emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, when you say something like this, that I really wished I had $100,000, that means you're still in the future, and this would continuously be your future because you really want it. But if you say, thank you, God, for giving me $100,000, now look at how your emotions, your body, and your blood pressure reacts to it. The moment I say this, that I have $100,000, thank you, God, I get goosebumps. My my hair on my neck starts to rise. That is the power of your emotions. You need to put that emotions in what you are saying. So you first need to feed your mind with positive self affirmations, self talk, and not only this plain self talk, you need to put the power of the emotion behind self talk. Right? And whatever you want, you say as if you already have it, and you need to feel it. Think about the emotion that you would have once you have $100,000. If not $100,000, let's only talk about $50,000. Think about it. And that is what you could do with that kind of money, and what you would do with that kind of money. So that would bring that emotion into it. All right. And then the fourth power is the creating the scene from the unseen. You really need to visualize of something that you already have. See, if I'm thinking about owning a beautiful mansion, or a big car, because I want to upgrade from the small car, I want to go on to a big car, I really need to close my eyes and start visualizing. Now, it is still the unseen. I do not have that car into my reality. However, I would first need to tell my subconscious mind what car is it. So when I tell my subconscious mind what car is it, and you need to do this practice by closing your eyes and see what kind of power it has. Follow me when I'm doing this. You close your eyes and you're thinking about a car. You can be thinking about anything else that you want in life. So I'm thinking about a car, and the car that I want. And all of a sudden, the first thing that would come to to my mind is the name of the make of the car, and the emblem of the car, the emblem of the maker, and then the model. Now I can visualize the model in front of me. I can visualize that model in front of me. And then comes the color of the car. Now this is taking up shape. Now my subconscious mind is getting the feed of the thing that I want to have. It is getting into the details of the things that I want to have. What kind of the upholstery would that car have? Would that be an automatic car? Yes, it can be an automatic car. Now, it can be an automatic car is ambiguous. It will have an automatic drive. It will have a black leather upholstery. It is it The car is white. It has a black steering wheel. It has a big dashboard with all the control panels on it, and it has an automatic gear shift lever. Look at how these things are getting proliferated in my mind now. And if when I closing my eyes and I am looking at the steering, I could see the emblem of the maker on the steering. Now see how, what kind of emotion it brings to my heart, right? It's a beautiful practice of what you can do by harnessing the power of visualization, creating the scene from the unseen. It is not there yet, but you're creating this blueprint in your mind. And when you creating this blueprint in your mind, one final day, this blueprint would come into existence. That's exactly what architects do. That's exactly what civil engineers do. They will first create a blueprint of a building, right? Something which is not seen, it is just on the paper. And then one fine day, when they work with focus and dedication, they will then form and make that building a reality. And that's exactly what happens with our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is that piece of paper where we do this blueprinting, and then the forces of the universe start to work on their own to put that uh, blueprint into reality. And the biggest thing that we could do over here is being persistent and doing the repetition. Now all these three powers that I'm talking about, the power of self talk, the power of emotions, and the creating the seed from the unseen, we need to do it regularly, each and every time that we are talking to ourselves, each and every time that we are alone, each and every day we need to take out time from our schedules to sit down, relax, and practice all these things while we are thinking to bring that dream into reality. When we put that dream into our subconscious mind with a lot of positive influx of emotions, with a positive self talk, with that power of emotions, we will be able to create the scene from the unseen. And this has to follow a pattern of persistence and repetition. This would not happen in a day. The Rome was not built in a day. This has to be done over and over and over and over again, each and every day. Now, one idea that is a kickstart for all of the ideas that I've thought about is burning of the boats. So you can only accomplish something when you close the doors behind you, when you close all the other options in your life. Only then you will be able to accomplish something worthwhile. I'll be happy to uh, share with you a story over here. There was this battle that was being ensued with between two warriors party. Uh, one of the warriors were on the boats, and they came up to the shore of their enemy. Now, the general of the army, when they reached the shore, they saw that they are outnumbered 1 to 100, and it was a sure shot formula of defeat. 1 to 100. Think about it. 1 to 100. How do you stand the odds against? The odds, all those odds are pitted against you. However, the general talked to his army and said that the only way that we'll be able to win this war is we either fight or else we die. Right? There is no other exception to this. There is no other substitute to entire thing. So he gave the instructions to burn the boats. And when the army, when the warriors realized that they have nothing but to fight till their death, they got so charged up. They got so charged up that they fought with all their might, with all their heart, because they knew that the only way that they could go back alive was to win by winning that war. And they really did. And that's exactly what happens to us as well. When we burn our boats, we know that there is no escape route now, and we give our 100% to that cause. But when our subconscious mind knows that there is an escape route, it would always become complacent. It would always become, it would always look for excuses. It will always find ways not to be successful because it knows that there is something that I can bank upon later. And this is exactly what happens with a lot of successful people. A lot of successful people have credited their success to a particular situation when they had no other option, when the only option that they had was to succeed. They were running out of money and they had to make their business a success. And that is where the magic start to happen. So guys, if you really want to succeed in life, if you really want to achieve that one definite purpose that I was talking about, you have to understand that you need to burn the boats. You have to burn your boats. You have to close all the doors behind. You have to burn down all the doors. You have to burn down all the escape routes. In summary, there are the conscious and subconscious part of our brains. The conscious mind is small and the subconscious mind is huge. However, our subconscious mind is controlled by our conscious mind, and our conscious mind would always be the feeder to our subconscious mind. The inputs would always be fed by our conscious mind, and it's up to us to choose who or what kind of inputs that we give to our subconscious mind. It is very important to understand that our inputs would then determine our future. Our subconscious mind is always working and it is objective. It would not differentiate between a positive and negative thought. To harness the power of a subconscious mind, we need to have a definite purpose. We should understand the power of self talk, the power of positive self affirmations. We should understand the power of emotions behind that self talk. And fourth is we need to have the power of visualization from where we create the unseen. We create the seen from the unseen through our power talk, the power of emotions and visualization. And fifth, we need to do it persistently. The more persistent we are, the better and the quicker the results are going to be. And always remember, guys, if you want to succeed in life, you need to burn all your boats. You need to burn down all the escape routes. You need to close all the roads behind because the only thing that you need to look forward to is the. You need to look forward. You need to look. What you need to look forward to is look forward, because people who are looking forward are going forward. People who always, that's exactly what happens in a race. If you're racing, if you are in a sprint, and if you happen to look back a little, you lose those precious moments, and those in those split second you may lose the race. Now guys, this is the race of your life. You will not want to lose the race of your life, so always look forward. Burn down all your boats. I hope you enjoyed this quick summary of Think and Grow Rich. There are other very powerful techniques that have been talked about, but I really wanted to bring out the one most encapsulating idea of this book. If you really need to read this book to harness the power of this book, to harness the power of your subconscious mind. And believe me, guys, once you read this book, I've read this book probably 5 to 6 times. And if you really want to read this book, I would recommend you grab a hard copy of this book. The link is given in the description. Go ahead, read this book, and I'm sure there is so much hidden treasure that is lying out for you and for you to grab. There is a whole ripe there's a whole garden that is ripe with fruits for you to go and pluck. Go out there, use these techniques that I've told you. I'm sure it will open the keys, open the locks to the treasure. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in, with the promise that I will meet you next week with another gripping book that would open the doors of personal development and personal growth. Thank you so much for joining in. You have a lovely evening ahead and have a great Sunday. Goodbye. God bless you all. Have a lovely evening ahead. Bye bye.